If you're like me and you're a fan of rally homologation road cars, then you'll obviously love this. This is most likely the best hatchback to have ever come out of this decade. Heck, it's the best hatchback of this century. And yes, there are plenty of other four-wheel drive turbocharged nutters from the Europeans, but to be quite frank with you, none of them have the same sort of visceral excitement like this GR Yaris. It's literally in a class of one. Literally one.
It's a wonderful ball of energy, and yet it almost didn't make it to the final cut.
Why? Well, let me give you a brief crash course on rally homologation specials. It's essentially a road legal car produced in a limited series by the manufacturer in order to meet the race body sanctioning requirements. In essence and in layman's terms, if you want to build a rally car, you need to produce a limited run road going version of that, which is fine. But that means you've got to turn a humdrum, very good Yaris that your mum would smoke around in into a WRC road going special. And that requires a lot of engineering. And so Toyota did do that. They went above and beyond. And I mean above and beyond.
From the looks of it, it seems like a beefed up Yaris that's been to the gym and has consumed far too much gear. But there's way more to it than meets the eye. Underneath its shell, the front half is Yaris, but at the back, it's had a major skeleton surgery by incorporating the bigger brother, the Corolla. It's a whopping 60mm wider, 45mm lower and 50mm longer than the standard car. They even created an all-new 1.6 litre 3-cylinder turbocharged unit that is so tricked up that it's become the world's most powerful production engine of its size.
This is a classic story of letting passion and enthusiasm being the top priority rather than just pleasing your marketing accountant. And the GR Yaris is a major success story. It is truly loved by everyone and every enthusiast all over. And now Toyota has remarkably made a new one, which claims to be better.
Which is why I'm here in the mountains of France, specifically where they used to host the Monte Carlo rally stage back in the 80s and 90s, with an exclusive first road test of the 2024 GR Yaris.
I will also get to give it a proper spanking around a track to see what this new GR Yaris is all about. But first, we need to pull over and talk to you about some of the technical updates and changes done to this car. Let's talk about the exterior changes done to this new GR Yaris. At the front, it looks pretty much familiar to the old car, but it's all in the details. As you can see, there's a 3-piece front bumper, and also they've opened up the air intake. Down here you've got a metal mesh to protect stones, but more importantly on the old car, if you drove it in a manner like most GR Yarises drive it and you dinged the front, well, you had to change the entire front bumper. In this, it's now done in 3 pieces. That means that it will save you quite a lot of money in terms of repair. At the back, not much changes, to be fair. There's a Toyota badge missing. That's what I thought. I thought someone nicked it, but no. Toyota decided to get rid of that and enhance the GR badge right down there at the bottom. But the fog light and reversing light has been relocated up here. Reason being is because where it was before, it was melting the lights. So yeah, overall, the styling changes are minimal, but the biggest styling change is what's on the inside. The biggest visual change inside is this dashboard layout. The speedometer is now fully digital and it has different cool graphic displays depending on which driving modes you're in. We've got a new center console LCD screen, which has got Apple CarPlay connectivity and all the best gizmos. But more importantly, visually, I for one absolutely love it. It reminds me of the Mark IV Toyota Supra. It's very JDM. Another very good thing is the seats. They've now sat it 25mm lower than the old car, which is a very, very good thing, because in the old car, it felt like you was driving a van. But overall, I really like this cabin. You've got a USB-C port over there for the driver, one there for the passenger. In the back, you've got some room, but not a great deal. But yeah, it's cool.
However, beneath the cosmetic updates, there's lots of changes done to the chassis. For starters, the shell itself has been strengthened both in spot welds and adhesive. The 1.6 litre 3-cylinder turbo unit has had some major improvements too, with new lighter pistons and more wear-resistant rings. You get a new valve train system, a new air intake system and a brand new intercooler. Pair that with a software upgrade change and you get a familiar 276 horsepower, and torque goes up from 266 to 288 pounds-feet of torque. The 6-speed manual gearbox has undergone some major upgrades to improved in shift quality, and you can now specify the new GR Yaris with an 8-speed automatic as an optional extra, more of which we can talk about later on.
Where I am right now is rally car territory, because I'm actually driving on the Monte Carlo WRC stage, from where back in the day stuff like the Peugeot 205 T16s and Ford RS 200s used to fly up and down here. Obviously power's been increased from the previous car. Do I actually notice it? Well, let me drop down to second. Not quite. I can't tell you if it's actually quicker than the first gen car. It seems to be a little bit more responsive, especially low down in the RPM range. And if you extend it past 6,000 RPM, it's keen to rev hard and strong all the way to the red line. Steering's been improved. In sport mode, it's quite weighty off center, but once you start working it, it's got a little bit more of feedback. I wouldn't say lots, but you can place it within inches of where you want it to be. Grip levels are just extremely high. Obviously, manufacturers do have to put stability control and traction control systems in there, but really and truly, you don't need it. I don't get impressed by many new cars, but this, on this road, yeah, it's proper.
So, first impressions. Well, it's all looking very good. The steering is sharper and has more feel, it's more keen to turn into corners, and overall you feel more involved and more connected in the driving experience. The cabin layout and visibility is a major improvement too. But now what I want to know is how this thing behaves when you're let loose on a track.
Around Circuit de la Croix. So this is an 8-speed torque converter automatic gearbox. It's a bit quicker to 60. It's a bit quicker around the track than the manual. Trade-off, well, it's 20 kilograms heavier than the manual having in the auto, but it is, like I said, quicker to 60. Steering, well, at these speeds where you grab it by the scruff of the neck, it's actually nice. It's really nice and responsive, but there is a bit of mid-corner understeer, but you can neutralise it on the brakes. It's not a lift-off oversteery car. I've got the mode in track mode for the four-wheel drive system, so it's 30% at the front, 70% at the rear. Grip is good thanks to those Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres. It's an angry ball of energy, this car. I would prefer it with a manual though, but I understand why the 8-speed auto's there. I do understand that, because there are people out there that want and love this car, especially the previous generation GR Yaris, but they don't or won't want a manual gearbox. So each to their own. And if it means that they can sell more of these and the GR Yaris can live on furthermore, then yeah.
To summarise then, the new 2024 second generation GR Yaris is even better than ever. You just can't help but smile every time you get behind the wheel. It's the top dog in fast hatchbacks, and the world is a much better place for its existence.
Show 'em how the struggle made magic.